Hi and welcome everybody to this brand new video. We're halfway to Christmas, even though you can't tell by me. Maybe you can tell by the Christmas tree in the background. I am not sure. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite winter holiday Christmas books because honestly, I love winter Christmas holiday books. I love that they're cliche. I love that they are just like cozy, warm. I love that they always have this one concept that you can just fall right into and you feel welcome, you feel at home. They're just comfortable books and they make me happy. So I'm gonna talk about them. Honestly, these books can be read at any time of year. I just feel like I am judged if I read them in September, which I do. But anyway, I'm gonna just talk about my favorites now. So we're having different types of books in here, different types of spiciness. We're just gonna talk about them because, different kinds of spiciness. I think they all have a little spice. They go from a little to more than a little spice. Anyway, I have some that I have in physical form. Let me just, ooh, these are heavy. These are my physical ones, and then I have a few that I have on my Kindle, so I'm just gonna talk about those as well because honestly, Kindle Unlimited books, good thing. You don't even have to go shopping for them. You can just add them online. Let's start. I think I'm just gonna go blindly into these. I'm just gonna grab one, and we have Baggage Claim. Now, Baggage Claim is a Christmas romance. What? Who'd have thought? A Christmas romance? Anyway, we have small town Christmas romance, fake dating, extravaganza, everything. And this is such a cute book. I really enjoyed reading this. We basically have Olive, and Olive is going home for the family, but she told her family that she has a boyfriend that she's bringing, but her boyfriend cheated on her, I think, or maybe they just broke up. He's out of the picture, right? So when she gets drunk on the plane and she tells a random stranger that she doesn't have a date and her family thinks she's bringing a date, he's like, you know what? I'll be your date. And Olive is confused, to say the least, but she says like, you know what, no. And then he just appears in front of her doorstep and is like, hi, sugar, I'm here. I'm pretty sure he doesn't call her sugar. That was just my brain. That's what happens. And then they pretend to fake date for 2 weeks. It's such a cute story. It was cozy, it was warm, even though it was snowy. These books are always set in like snowy mountains or snowed in cities, and there's always snow. Whereas where I live right now, it's raining and it's not snowy. Overall, this book was just hilarious and was funny and it was cutesy and it was definitely rubbing on my nerves. There are some spicy scenes in this, not obnoxiously too much, but there are some. Might be a good book if you're looking kind of into starting with that, and definitely possible to skip if you feel uncomfortable with that. So it's not just like in your face, boom, I'm here and I'm just going to be very descriptive about it, because honestly nobody wants that. I mean, I don't want that. I'm not sure what you want, but I don't want that. So this book was really cute, and I'm just going to move on to the next book now, which funnily enough is Christmas Baggage. Not to be confused with Baggage Claim, Christmas Baggage. This is a romance set in London. So essentially the main character in this book, she's completely fed up with Christmas. She's done with it, right? So she goes to London, which definitely isn't the best city to get away from Christmas. But anyway, she goes to London, she doesn't have any family there, and she stays with like her friend's family, and especially her friend's cousin. Do I even have to say more? This was really cute. It was a fun one. It was a good one. One thing that bothered me about this one, but maybe that is something I can look past, were the Harry Potter references. There's just a lot of them. Even the synopsis says that he has a Malfoy personality. Now, as a person who reads a lot of Draco Malfoy fanfiction, that is not a bad thing. I think that the entirety of like Bookstagram, Book Talk, Booktube can agree that a Draco Malfoy personality in a book, not a bad thing. We like that. We like our love interests a little morally gray, and that's fine. So we have a little morally gray, kind of grumpy guy. We also have a kind of grumpy girl. So one thing that is typical for these books, her name is Claire Frost. Just gonna leave that there. Do with that as you wish. Claire has a flower shop, which is also something typical romance novel protagonists have, a flower shop, or a bakery. So this is essentially just one of those Netflix Christmas movies as a book. But it was fun, it was nice, I loved the London at Christmas time vibes that it gave off. I loved the banter in this, it was cute. It was a good one. I had a very, very, very good time with this. Next up, we're moving to a Kindle Unlimited book. Well, not Kindle Unlimited. I think it's Kindle Unlimited in the US. It's not Kindle Unlimited in Germany, which, sad. So I bought it on my Kindle, but I couldn't get the paperback, so I don't have the paperbacks. Anyway, I'm talking about Lovelight Farms. Now, this entire series is definitely worth reading if you're into like cozy small town romance. And the first book is the only one that's Christmas themed though, so the other ones are like summer and fall. First one, Lovelight Farms, she has a Christmas tree farm. Already cute, right? And so there's this kind of interview that she like applied for where she said that she and her partner are having like this cute Christmas tree farm, and she says that just so that it sounds more romantic there. So when she actually gets this interview for that newspaper that she's applied for, she's like, I don't even have a partner. So who better to call than her best friend who she's had feelings for since she was like 16. And he's like, of course I'll be your fake boyfriend. So we got some fake dating. Oh, it's so cute. They go on a lot of cute fake dates for like the article and stuff. It's really, really sweet. I enjoyed it a lot. It was cute. It was cozy. It was comfortable. Overall, just a good book. A good friends to lovers romance. It's just a cute one, okay? It's cozy. It's warm. It makes you feel fuzzy. It makes you feel the good things. It's a cute romance. So this one definitely has some spicy scenes, like 1, 2, 3 spicy scenes, but not obnoxiously too much again. It was fine. I was happy with it. It was a great book, great cozy book to put you in the mood for Christmas. That's what all of these do, and that's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're here for. And they do a freaking great job at that. Since I've been talking about books with a little spice but not too much, I'm now going to be talking about a book that in my opinion had too much spice, but I think in the opinion of Book Talk as like a group, there is just the right amount. So what I'm talking about is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Now, in general, Tessa Bailey books, they do have a lot of spice. They're quite spicy, and usually that doesn't bother me as much. With this one, it was just very fast-paced because look at this book. It's not very thick. So we have the female main character. I forgot her name. Let me check. Stella. Okay, classic Christmas name again. So Stella goes shopping. Yeah, so she's in front of this huge window display at this boutique called Vivant, probably, I'm not sure. And she's like walking there and she's definitely critiquing the window display because it's ugly. And the guy who works there and is just looking at the window display asks her like, what do you think? And she's like, this is atrocious. Please let me fix it. So she then starts to work for them, and then she realizes that the guy she talked to, the guy that she flirted with on the street, is actually her new boss. And so they start a workplace kind of forbidden romance because there is, of course, as always, a company policy that you're not supposed to date your coworkers. Yeah, that doesn't work out great, like those company policies. No. It was a fun book, it was a cute book, in my opinion, a little too fast-paced, but very small book. Maybe if you don't want to pick up a huge book before Christmas because maybe you're not a fast reader but you want to get through something, really good choice. Also free on Kindle Unlimited in some places. Again, not in Germany, but in some places it is free, so you might want to check it out. It's a cute one. I was immediately confused because honestly, on page 6, they're already talking about kinks. So I was like, you know, it's a bit fast for me. And they're like talking to each other about it. It was just too fast-paced for me, but if that's your cup of tea, go for it. All in all, a good book. Sticking with the theme of series where some books are Christmassy and some books are not Christmassy, we have the Seasons of Revenge series. Now I'm just going to talk about the first book and the fourth book. So the first book, 'Tis the Season for Revenge. We have, of course, as the name suggests, a revenge plot, and a great one at that. So, the main character, honestly, what's her name? Abby. Abby's boyfriend broke up with her because she was showing up to a Halloween party in a bunny costume, and he was like, you're not, like, that's not it. That's not it. We're breaking up because you're in a bunny costume. So, she's freaking out. She's angry because she was actually expecting him to propose. So, she is very confused, and then she goes home, she gets drunk with her besties, and decides on a revenge plot. And her revenge that she has chosen is to start dating his boss and going to the Christmas party that he didn't invite her to. So the ex didn't invite her. The new guy invites her to the Christmas party. But turns out that the boss, he's not actually as much as an asshole as she thought he was, because, you know, the ex always talked about how bad of a person he is. Turns out he's actually kind of like a golden retriever of a person, and he's just telling her all of these cute things, and he's always like being there for her, and she gets in sort of like a little inner turmoil because she's not sure how she's gonna go through with her plan, since this new guy is just honestly the love of her life. Then it's a little bit of a pickle that she has to figure out how to deal with, because it was just not what she had planned. It was not what she was expecting. So it's just a little bit of a surprise. And this was a fun book. So I rated this 4 chili peppers. So there are a lot of spicy scenes in this, and honestly, they're not light spice. They're like heavy into the spice, slightly kinky spice. Honestly, that's just what it is. I think we have some praising in there somewhere, and like, I'm not entirely sure, but it's heavier on the spice. Like, there's few romance books that I still enjoy that are this heavy in the spice department. Otherwise, great book and cute romance. I was very giddy about this. Now, talking about the next book by the same author in that same series, the fourth book. Now, the second and third book were also good, but this fourth book, Big Nick Energy. Horrible name for a book, honestly. This is the worst pun I've ever heard, but it was such a great book. For some reason, every single book in this series has an age gap that is over 10 years. So, if you're not into that, don't read these. But with this one, we have a dude, a dad. He's a dad, okay? And this dad has a 23-year-old son. I'm just gonna say 23, I'm not entirely sure. But that 23-year-old son goes on a Tinder date with a 35-year-old mom of 2 kids. She has 2 girls. And they immediately hit it off. They become best friends because they realize that they don't really have any connection. So he decides that he brings her home for Christmas because she doesn't have anybody, because she just went through her divorce. So he brings her home for Christmas, and the dad and her, it's their story. Let's just say that. It's really, really sweet. He starts talking to these kids and he gets along great with them, and then he tells them about the elf on the shelf. She's already like, don't tell them. Please, I don't have time. I don't have the energy to do this elf on the shelf. And he is so committed that he decides that he will do the elf on the shelf for the kids. So he drives an hour each way every single morning, every single evening to do this elf on the shelf thing for those kids. And it's just adorable. The kids in this book are great. I struggle a lot with kids in books because, honestly, sometimes they just feel like they're shrunken adults because they have such adult thoughts. These kids don't. They just throw tantrums, and they love horses and pink and purples, and they're just cliche kids, which makes sense to me. Honestly, I'm not a kid expert. I haven't been around kids in a while, but it was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a 5-star book to me, which is so weird, but it was. It had a lot less spice than all of the other books in the series. I enjoyed the book. That's the consensus of this. I enjoyed this book a whole freaking lot. It was great. Moving on to the next Christmas romance that I have, The Mistletoe Motive. This is also a very small Christmas book that you can just read somewhere in between. It's a cute one. It's small town romance. We have the grumpy guy who doesn't like Christmas. We have the very bubbly sunshine girl who loves Christmas. They work at the bookstore together and they have to like get up the rates for the bookstore. So they make a deal that whoever sells more books by Christmas will be promoted, I think. And the other has to quit, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. So again, with the names in this one, her name is Gabby, that's fine. His name is Jonathan Frost. Again, Frost. At least his name isn't Jack, right? He could have very well been Jack Frost, because he doesn't like Christmas and he's grumpy. The only thing missing are like his goblins and then he's all set. Anyway, they kind of hit it off and she's a little shy around him, she's a little confused, and she tries to like work things out because she's a demisexual. The representation in this for like a demisexual is so good. I loved it. It was cute how she explained everything to him and he was just like, yeah, I thought that was your thing and that's fine. We'll just wait until you feel comfortable enough, until our connection is there. It was cute. It was such a cute one, and this whole bookstore vibe, I mean, it's a bookstore. It's so cute. I was very delighted. Since when do I use the word delighted? Apparently since today. So this is starting off as like a work rivals to lovers situation. I liked it. And then the last book I wanted to talk to you about, Holiday Romance. Now I finished this about 2 hours ago, so my memory of this is still kind of fresh. So this is a friends to lovers holiday romance that is incredibly cute. This book only has one spicy scene, and that's not very descriptive, so in case of spice, this is probably the lightest of all of these. So essentially these two have been friends for ages. So 10 years ago, they took the first flight together because they're both from Ireland and they both live in Chicago, so every year they take the same flight together and they fly home together. They're like flight buddies. In between, mixed in the real story, are like the flashbacks from like each year of every flight. But this year, stuff goes wrong, okay? So they're supposed to be on this flight, but there's a snowstorm, so they can't fly. So instead, they're trying to figure out how to get home because he is a Christmas enthusiast and she is just not really. So she's like, you know what, nobody's gonna care if I come home for Christmas. And the only reason she actually is planning to go home is because her twin sister is having a baby and extremely pregnant. So she was like, okay, I need to see my sister. And he desperately wants to get home for Christmas, but when the weather stops, he's like, you know what, let's spend Christmas here. We're not gonna get home. But she is determined to move everything around to like get him home for the holidays. And that is her new mission. And it's just really cute how determined she is to get him home to his family on Christmas in time. And it's just overall a cute romance. I like him as a character a lot. Her, not so sure, but he is such a nice character and it's so cute. It just gets cozier and cozier the further you get into this book. It's a cute one, it's a cozy one, it's a little on the thicker side. It is also on Kindle Unlimited, so I have this as a normal copy, also on Kindle Unlimited, in case you were curious. But with that, I'm gonna end today's video. I am hoping that you're having an awesome time, an awesome day, whatever time it is for you. I hope that you pick up a book. I hope that it gets you in the Christmas spirit. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, I think the Christmas spirit is something beautiful because it's just love. Lots of love for everybody, and that's what we need. So I will be going back to more Christmas books because honestly, this is kind of sad, and I will be reading more now. So I hope to see you all for the next time. Goodbye. Because of the severe lack of queerness, queer characters in these books, I have now decided to read Make You Mine this Christmas, which is essentially about her fake dating this guy and then she falls in love with his sister. So I'm gonna read this now and I'm gonna see you all later. Bye!